Hey there, it's Darren Gladstone from HP's TheNextBench.com. I'm here with Stacy Wolf and a bunch of gray blocks, apparently.
Have just appeared.
Just magically appeared.
Yes.
So what are we looking at here exactly? Because
for a lot of people that go, why would you ever do a gray notebook? Well, they're really not notebooks. They're not products that we're going to ship. They're actually form factor studies that we've looked at, testing the engineering, the capability of this hybrid design that we're coming out with. And so we'll go through a lot of different form factors and do the analysis of how does it work, how does it feel in your hand, and how does it function. And so a lot of these, kind of study the capability of having basically a notebook that I can open up and interact with just like a notebook. But we also want to have the ability to disengage the display and have a tablet in the end. And so a lot of these form factors that we go and create basically are allowing us to do the analysis very early on to see what form factor resonates, one with the design team, but also we'll use our human factors labs to see, which one really works the best of the designs that we have. And you can see on the table here, we have many, many different form factors, some that have that grab the tablet, some are just a simple trough that you could actually put a tablet in.
Yeah, let's go into some, let's go a little deeper into some of these. So let's just start because this one's closest to me.
Sure. Well, this is really about how can you basically get it down to the simplest, the leanest, the sleekest, if you will, notebook that you could create and still keep, some I/O that you might have to the back. But at the end, I want to be able to open this up just like a notebook and have that capability. But I want to be able to take this off and create a tablet. And this is a tough thing because what looks good as a notebook doesn't always look good as a tablet. So it's a balance of, when you literally pull the top off of this, does it really still meet its goal, which is it has to be the best notebook or hybrid available. And at the end of the day, it has to be right in your hands to be a legit tablet.
So a lot of the designs I'm seeing here, a lot of them seem to be basically the big thing is how do you handle that connection point?
You do, and so the key thing is that we've seen a lot of these different form factors. Some do it different, but a lot of them have used this what we refer to as the taco shape, which is this kind of, if you will, open hand that kind of grabs.
Show that for the camera.
Yeah, it grabs the display. And it allows it to dock, and there's an interconnect that's in there, and these are mounted to the keyboard.
Okay.
And it allows it to articulate and open and close just like a notebook.
Gotcha.
But there's some challenges to that is that when you get it all put together, it still doesn't feel elegant. And we went through, like I said, many different form factors, some that were very, very sleek and tapered on the back, some that actually wedged up. But all of them we were going down this path, and they all seemed to feel like an addition, right? It felt like you put a clamp on the back of the display. And honestly, it just wasn't good enough for us. So we actually spent a huge amount of time and a great engineering effort on getting to the final design. This is the Envy X2. And so if you look at it, it looks like a beautiful notebook, and it is. It is a perfect notebook. But what's unique on here is that all these different, if you will, contraptions that hold the display on, we felt were too bulky, just not refined. And so if you look at this design, what we've been able to do is put all of that technology, the interconnect and the mechanism and the pivot, all in this little bump out to the back. So I, as a user, when I look at this, I see nothing more than a notebook with a beautiful hinge to it.
Right, and it actually kind of reminds me of the hinges I'd see on some of our other laptops, like say DM4.
The DM4, or maybe more recently the NV6 or the NV4.
Right.
And when you open it up, it presents itself just like any other notebook would. It has a full-size keyboard that's built in. This is 11.6 screen. And so it really gives you that beautiful blend between, PC and tablet. We still have an oversized touchpad, which is designed to run the latest OS. But as we look at Win 8 emerging, one of the most important things is how do you interact with that environment and that UI. So obviously a touch screen is very key, and this is a touch screen because it is both notebook and tablet. It's a hybrid. And so when we talked a little bit about the hinge, we wanted to get it as tiny and as sleek as possible, and you can see it lifts up slightly as you open it. But the magic on this is really how easily the display can come apart.
May I for a second?
And sure, please.
Wow, this is I mean, granted, I work at HP, so I'm going to say it looks neat, but actually, it really
A little
does.
biased.
I'm a little biased, but it does look really neat. I mean, I don't know if you can see this on camera here.
But it's super clean, and one of the things that we did in this is that we incorporated two little slots into the bottom, and those little slots index on two tabs that we have in the hinge. But unlike a lot of the others where they use a latching mechanism to hold down a display, in this hybrid, we really wanted it to be more magical. And so what we incorporated was the use of magnets that allow
okay.
the display to be drawn in. And so when I place this just near the back, I can actually feel the pull of the magnets pulling the display to its mounting points. And then because we're incorporating the magnets with the latching mechanism all in those tabs, all basically miniaturized in those little tabs, it's now locked down. So again, I'll just demo it for you, but it's very, very easy to disengage. You just simply move the lever, and then putting this on, you can see that it instantly
The lever just like locked into place, and
it's always in its open position to receive the display. So we spent, like I said, numerous hours, many, many months with the engineers and the designers. How can you shrink down what everybody in the industry in this hybrid piece is looking at all these strange contraptions? And we looked at them too. But as you can see with the NVX2, the final package is really an exquisite form factor.
Yeah, so if do a quick tour of the thing. Actually,
Sure.
this is a good opportunity for me to ask you a ton of questions about the unit itself. So, what was, I mean, besides the keyboard and the mouse and like obviously the inputs, what else resides underneath the hood here? Is like just separate graphics? I mean, how does that work? I'm kind of
One of the most important things about mobility form factors is always the runtime, right? How long can I be away from power? And one of the things that we've shifted our mindset, especially on these form factors, is I would like you never to take an adapter, a power adapter, with you, right? All day, all night, take this thing and run it. And so what we've designed here is in the upper half, it's basically a full PC, if you will, right? It's running Win 8, all that's in there, battery incorporated. And so in the upper half, you actually have a beautiful tablet. On the lower half, you have this exquisite keyboard, great ergonomics, but we've incorporated a battery into that bottom. And so the benefit there is I've basically doubled my runtime. And is there a penalty? No. It's actually very, very beneficial, because what also adds weight is also a counterbalance, because you have now a screen that when I open it up, I'm going to be interacting with. And so I can go ahead and touch on the screen all I want and not worry about, I'll call it the proper balance of the system. But the added dimension that incorporates the keyboard and the battery allows us to put a full I/O to this. So whether it's video or USB, or what's unique on this is that there's a little connector on the side. That is the actual interconnect the tablet part has with the base. And so obviously when I connect to power, sometimes I'll connect as it is in a notebook mode, but many times I'll connect in a tablet mode. So that's a universal connection for us.
Oh, okay.
And then again, things like video capture, I'm going to many times carry a camera with me, and a lot of the tablets out there just don't have that capability that a PC does, and that's the SD card. So I can take a full-size SD, drop it in here, I can edit, I can put all that together, shoot off in the email. But come relaxation time, and I want to step away from the PC, I have the beautiful.
And I noticed it has a couple like buttons and cameras on the back too. So there's
Yeah,
that.
so what we've done on this is that one of the most important things that we heard from customers is I wanted to have the ability to do image capture, and I don't want just I'll call it a phone level camera. We really wanted to have something that was more substantial. So it's an 8 megapixel camera that we've incorporated into the back.
Nice.
Which is really nice. We have some basically quick buttons onto the back for volume. We've also incorporated power, and it works more like you'd say a phone does.
It's like a sleep mode sort of thing?
Sleep mode. So I can quickly press it and turn the screen off. It helps greatly with just the simple power consumption. But again, everything's kind of packaged so cleanly in a little form factor like this.
Very nice, very cool. How many designs did you go through with just to come up with the X2 as it is?
It really depends on the form factor. One as complicated as this, we literally have a Foot Locker full of foam models and different models. We went through on the engineering side creating, I want to say about 6 or 7 highly intricate, almost to the point where you had to hire a jeweler to work the internal components. to make sure the mechanism was robust and, would last the life of the product. So a lot of work went into it.
I bet. Thanks a lot, man.
No problem, thanks.
Thank you. All right, and so this was a quick sneak preview of all the work that goes into the NVX2. If you want to find out even more details about what's under the hood, got to go over to thenextbench.com where we got all the details. Thanks for watching, everyone.